Hello. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Can y'all hear me okay? I hope everybody's good. Somebody put a one in chat if you can hear me, please. I've had so many windows open over here that I'm just not sure if I got my mic going good. Hello? Hello, hello. Can y'all hear? Can somebody put a one in here? Okay. Thanks, Baton Rouge. I appreciate it. Oh, have a safe trip, okay? Y'all be careful. Um, this weather's been kind of crazy. People getting rain all over the place. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. I guys, I'm not going to come on camera tonight, and I apologize for that. But something is in the air, and my eyes are all puffy and swollen, and they're all just runny and puffy. So y'all can look at my little scary face. Hey, Annabella, thanks for being here. I am going to talk to you guys about, I'm going to tell you my version of how I see how summer got lost in the holler. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. And I lost one of my papers, so I'm still trying to find it. But we're going to get started here in just a second. I guess everybody's doing well, having a good weekend. I had 2 soccer games to do today, and I was home by 10:30. Yay me. So it was not an all-day thing this time. But they both won. So it was a good day. Um so I had told y'all, I think, on my last live that I was getting stuff ready for a live about how Summer has gotten lost in her own case. And that is so very, very, very true. This little girl is being overlooked, overshadowed, tucked away in a corner because so many people have vendettas. They have, they got to be the person that next up somebody, they got to get ahead of the game. And it's just sad because all it's doing is hurting Summer. And that's just not right. That's bad enough that all that's going on 2.5 years later. But guys, Summer really has been lost in her own case for a while now. And I am going to share with you where I think it all started. We do know her parents have not been the best help. I'm not going to sit here and blame. I'm not going to defend. I've told y'all that before. But when you stop and think about it, she's got parents that haven't gone out of their way. When you have a media manager that is creepy as hell, sorry, but that's how I feel about him. When you have other members of the church that suddenly disappear shortly after. Hey, Millie, I miss seeing you. Hope you're good. But you got all these people that have done nothing to help, but they have been putting out junk out there, and this little girl got lost just from those things that I mentioned. But then when you add in the neighbor, that kind of changes things, takes it to a whole new level. So I am going to share my screen here. And can y'all see it? Let me know if y'all can hear it. I'm going to start playing it. And I want y'all to listen real close to how there's no way the person that lived the closest to her is going to be of any help. And this is starting from the very beginning.
She was on a dirt bike with the next youngest, and diaper full on that one, hanging off, old as the hills. Don't listen to the shit that's being said about Candace and Donnie either, because I promise you 99.9% of that's bullshit. And his little sippy cup, it's full of liquor. Summer is loved, cared for, and diaper full on that. She was on a dirt bike with the next youngest, and diaper full on that one, hanging off, old as the hills. Don't listen to the shit that's being said about Candace and Donnie either, because I promise you 99.9% of that's bullshit. And his little sippy cup, it's full of liquor. Summer is loved, cared for, neighborhood loves her, cares for her. Her parents and brothers love her. She cried. She had fetal alcohol sitting in her ears like her siblings kind of did when they were younger. Parents are not involved. Candace would message me if one of the kids were hurt or for parenting advice or whatever, she would message me if one of the kids was sick. Any neighbor in there, if you asked them something, was going to have your back. Midnight, noon, didn't matter. Last time I saw that little girl was 2 nights before she went missing, and that's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I heard. She was naked as the day is long at that damn door at the top. That is exactly where I saw Summer last. And she was yelling, kind of being a brat. Nobody come get her a towel. And I always kept coming back to when did I tell them about Dobbs exactly? And I'm pretty sure after the cops left, after telling Dobbs to go the hell on, and he had left, Candace come down, all the kids were there, including Summer. At one point, the puppy fell into the creek over there. The kids had to go retrieve it. We were talking. I told her the situation. And I'm pretty sure that was, like I said, the night before on the 14th, right before dark. Like I said, the night before on the 14th, right before dark. Last time I saw that little girl was 2 nights before she went missing. All the kids were there, including Summer, the night before on the 14th. I feel like I did hear him leave that one.
You do feel
but
like
there was no real noise. Because at 2 something I had taken a small nap, maybe 30, 45 minutes. I don't know what noise exactly woke me up. At some point after that, I heard a car door slam, and I think we go out at that point and look around, didn't see anything. There was a flash of red going up the driveway that was wrong. We heard the scream, but Candace couldn't, the other neighbors couldn't, but we could hear it clear as day. And the doors to the cabin were open, so were the windows, so the doors open, the windows open. My kids are immediately like, well, that's the kids. And I'm like, it's not the kids. Now, I know all of their sounds, trust me. Oh boy, do I. I mean, I don't even like other people's fucking kids. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to hear it goddamn shit. I don't want to hear fucking kids screaming and crying and boo-hooing. I will lose my goddamn shit. I've heard every noise you can imagine out of those 3. I hear them play every day. Oh. Cannot fucking handle it. So anyway, mine are different. I feel the instinct. Other people's, I just want to shake them to death. So, Oh, I'm irradiated currently, and no more babies for me, but too many surgeries couldn't probably help me anyway, and if something was wrong, I'd smother him with a fucking pillow. And it never really occurred to me, Summer. So the day Summer went missing, my children and I heard her scream. But not a whole lot do you hear Summer. Feels a little empty without hearing her little giggles today. And, and her playing at the top of her hill from my hill. I hear her every day. I mean, you'll hear her faintly, you'll hear whatever, but she stays a little closer to the house and things. And contrary to popular belief, I've never once seen Summer in the road. And usually see her at least once. And she was like, it's going, it's muffled. Was leaving the road, kind of. And I believe she also said she could hear a car too. It was very loud.
Very loud.
Like, now to me, it's sort of a shape, and I can access part of the noise, but it's almost like if you took a cookie cutter or something, dipped it in sugar, and I know it probably doesn't make sense, but I can hear the outside edge of it, but my brain does not want it doesn't want to let me hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, best I recall, it's been a couple months ago. I think it was unfounded.
See, I don't know why my children would have a reason to lie to me, and they told me basically kind of the same thing. They all told me, all three of them told me about the same thing or the same thing. So I don't see why they'd lie. But saying that too, a lot of the other stuff that had been said, I don't know. I ain't trying to get in trouble here on this.
Then at 5:30ish, I hear Candace hit the drive. Well, I'm assuming it's Candace, right? But I didn't see it. I only heard the Suburban or that other thing her mom drives hit the driveway going up hard as hell. I start getting ready not too long after that because normal time for Voldemort to get off of work. But then Voldemort texts and says he's going to be running behind, that he's working over. I messaged Voldemort and told him I'm heading down early so I could mess around with the flowers, and I'll just, mess around with those till he gets there. Even though I knew at that point it'd be like almost half an hour. Then, as I was going down the driveway, and Candace was yelling the last message that I sent Andy before I lost Wi-Fi signal, when I could already hear Candace yelling for Summer. I thought it was at 6:08, but it's at 6:09. And then I was down the driveway within a minute or two of that. Before I'm all the way down, I know that there's been more than 3 calls. I get to the bottom of the driveway. I have my purse. Actually, I try calling up and screaming at Candace, and I'm already looking to let her know that I'm at the bottom. She can't hear me. Then at 6:09, still no property search until I and the boys go left, and I go around with the other neighbor to the other side, and we're searching. Well, to me, for starters, I know we were looking at 6 o'clock anyway, when I'd already started searching for her. So I'm wearing sandals, and I know the best thing I can do is get into the water. And as Candace screams at the oldest, but you can tell all 3 are standing there, and she screams, "What did you do? What did you do?" And the oldest answers, "Nothing, Mama, nothing, Mama, I swear."
So you saw that? You saw her say that to the boys and heard it?
I was at the bottom of the hill. I didn't see it, but I could
You could
hear.
hear
And
them
for the
yelling. Okay.
placement, I knew all three boys were right in front of her because of
Right.
the footsteps.
Who cares about
So I knew they had
Donnie?
met back up at the same place. Wasn't too far in when I hear a car coming down Candace's driveway. But as I hear her getting closer, I come back out the creek and jump up. Anyway, when she pulls up, she's on the phone with Donnie. But the first thing I say to Candace is, I heard her scream, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And Donnie says something like, so you're telling me somebody's taking my baby girl or something. But I never said, hey, somebody took Summer. I never said, anything to really imply. I mean, saying her screaming, sorry, I didn't know. Doesn't imply somebody took her immediately, because I gotta tell you, some of my first thoughts weren't necessarily that. And knew within minutes she was no longer in there. I mean, it didn't take long to figure that out between. Either way, the point is, we heard her. But I look anyway. And at this point, I hear the cops coming. There's two, they come by. And then it wasn't long after that Voldemort comes in, and then Donnie not long behind him. So Voldemort stops by one point. I was like, Summer's missing. He's like, I know, I'm looking. I see the boys back there. And they stand up, and the oldest, I was like, look, when's the last time you seen your sister? Where did you see her last? And he, and I'm not going to say what he told me. It was the last place they saw Summer was on the swing set. But then he tells me it's been like, a few minutes. And I'm not going to give the exact time period either. And that it had been 5 or 10 minutes. I think the third car's coming in, the police car. And it was an SUV, whatever it was. And I stopped him and was like, I heard a scream. Whatever. He wouldn't do anything to Summer. He didn't hurt her. There were certain times when it looks like Candace was getting shit off of Andy when other little girls were over there and things. He wasn't some fucking massive dealer. He wasn't over there fucking doing anything. And I know that he was selling to the actual children, over there. But then that Candace was getting it for the kids too. And you've got to think of what that could do to a young one and sedate them. And for what purpose? And no, he didn't have shit to do with something. And I know that he is not some massive ass fucking dealer of anything. So you go ask him why he was selling drugs to those children. And to Candace for the children. Go ask. And ask him what type other than weed. But then looking back, it's like, and even there were things that made me suspicious. Like when it was working the 3 jobs once, all of a sudden there was a sex drive increase. There was this, there was that. When it was working 3 jobs once, all of a sudden there was a sex drive increase. There was this, there was that. It keeps coming in with meth, including just a couple days before this shit started rolling.
Like the criminal records for Jody Sue Brown, maintaining dwelling for drug use. Tennessee Department of Corrections, maintaining a dwelling for drug use. Jody Sue,
running a drug house.
Drug house.
Definitely had some of the stuff that's not been going on there been going on, like all the fucking properties for sale and all the state shit and all the fucking work crews in there from all over the goddamn country been in there. This would have never happened. Somebody took the opportunity with all the traffic coming in and out. That would be my guess now. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just saying my guess would be that somebody has taken opportunity if that's what's happened. And that those things, had they not been happening, she might be where she's supposed to be right now. This is what you get when you start opening these fucking areas up and you have people running all across them. Like I said, currently there's perfect storm working, and that's how I'm pretty sure this happened. And out of towners thinking they're gonna move the fuck in there. Most of the goddamn second light haulers for sale. So I don't know, y'all. I can see somebody dying over some shit like that. I just want to let everybody know, because I'm just at the point where I'm gonna start shit and I'll burn the goddamn creek down. If you're from out of state and you happen to be watching this, tell your friends to stay the fuck home. Go somewhere else. And if her and Sarah had simply taken our fucking cash offer, I don't want fucking neighbors. I hope her greed eats her and everybody else. Had she taken my offer, so good fucking luck to them. I don't fuck else to tell them, and I hope they ain't got children that wanted a yard, because fuck that. And I dare one of the little bastards to stick a toe in mine. That's how I'm gonna play it. I'm not fucking around.
Uh-huh.
But it was just really like the perfect storm, or somebody used all of the activity happening at once as the perfect cover for it. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily street smart either, but they're good at cons and bullshit.
Yeah. Getting by.
Like that, yeah, but she ain't real good at that because she can't keep her shit straight. But that in itself is an art form, because if you sling enough shit out, guess what? That too is a good way to get by with something.
That's right.
Because it mixes up so much shit you've got to wade through that, you know. But I've known the entire time I've listened to these people, it's literally Dawn and Candace.
Mm-hmm.
Different stories about the same exact thing. Community members, same thing. Always like that. Always.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? So, y'all let me know if you can hear me. Make sure I got this turned back on right. Okay, thanks, Millie. She is disgusting, darling. Oh my goodness. Y'all, it just, it is the hardest thing in the world to even think about, because here's the neighbor that knows all, sees all, hears all, everything. She's all up in everybody's business everywhere. But yet she couldn't tell us when Candace, and Summer came home. She could not tell you when Candace left again. She did mention in that video about the fetal alcohol syndrome, and John Davis True Crime Today, y'all drop his channel, and he did a live, and he had a lot of things with Jody Sue in it, and it triggered her. So today she was defending herself, and her statement today on her live today said the doctor never diagnosed those babies with that. They could see it, but they didn't diagnose them with it. But she knows they had it. So, no diagnosis of fetal alcohol syndrome. Isn't that something? And if you go back to Doug, well, I think his channel got taken down from this time, but it was back in May of this year. Thanks, Millie. On Doug's channel, she states very clearly, my story never changes. Well, we just saw that it does. On the lab in December of 2022, she said there were no drugs on 110 or 125. No drugs were sold at all on 125. But yet she had charges for manufacturing in a dwelling for that. So that was kind of obvious there. And then at the end, she makes a comment about, she's talking about Candace on this part, but she does say she can't get her shit straight. Well, I call BS because Candace has told the same story from day one, basically. There's hardly anything that's changed up. Her and Dawn both have told basically the same story. But yet, we know that the neighbor cannot tell the truth. So, how is it that she's going to get on social media? Because some of that was done on Facebook. Then she moved to YouTube to continue it. How are we, as YouTubers, as creators, trying to, create something to talk about and go with? And you listen to other creators, you listen to hear what's been, been said, been done, what's been found out. And then, we kind of take that and mold that. Well, Jody Sue, who's right there, can't get her story straight. She tells one story, she forgets she told that, I guess, and then tells a whole complete opposite version of that same story. And this is since the very beginning, y'all. Very, very beginning. The day she came up missing. Jody Sue is in the parking lot at the Wi-Fi talking all about what's going on. Day one. But yet, why is she distracting it? Why is she causing distractions every time there's a subject? Every time somebody puts anything out and questions her, they're tragedy pimps. They're bad people. And yet she's the good one. The one that tells lie after lie after lie, and you don't know what to believe. You can't take anything she says and believe it as truth because she's told so many lies in just 2.5 years. But she did it for, obviously, there's a reason. Because if you're telling the God's honest truth, it's not hard to remember what the truth is. It's always hard to remember what your lie was. When you lie to someone and then you talk to somebody else and you tell them a lie, and by the time you get to a couple more people and the subject comes back up, you forgot what you said the first time. So, hey, let's just go with this, and create something new. That's when it gets hard to remember. And obviously, she had a hard time remembering, and I don't think it's because she had cancer. My mother had cancer until the day she died. She could remember things. She didn't lie about things. She could remember things from when we were little kids. I have a friend that had the exact same surgery that she had. She remembers everything. She's an older lady. I mean, she's up in her low 90s right now, but she remembers things. You know, she talks about stories from when she was a little kid and all. So no, the cancer is not it. You know, she kind of just told a story to what suited at the time, it seemed like. And how does that help Summer? How does that help from day one? How does that help Summer? On her channel, on her YouTube channel, you go over there, you look at her playlist. There's a playlist for Summer Wells. I think it's 1 through 10. And guys, I'm not joking with you when I say I listened to the first one. And it wasn't till the very, very, very end of it, she says, keep Summer's name out there, keep her picture out there. All the rest of it was about her monster, her children, her. But yet it's titled Summer Wells, #1. And it's not until the end of that series that she actually says anything about Summer too much. Almost all of it's about her. And that's totally disgusting, guys. Because where does Summer go? You know, if you can't depend on the person that lives the closest to her outside of her family, then, you know, that baby's been lost from day one. Yes, she is, Darlene. She very much is. She is the one muddling and slinging it. She's thick. And it's uncalled for. And that's the worst part of all, because here's this baby that doesn't even have a chance from day one. Because Jody Sue has already started screwing up everything. You know, it wasn't, I don't know, it was just recently that I saw where Jody Sue said, I don't know if you guys remember H saying he looked at her phone and there was a message from her drug dealer that said it's done. That's been denied all this time. 2.5 years later, she comes out and says Andy did send Candace a text that day saying it's done, but it was a mistake. Why did it take her 2.5 years? Why 2.5 years later is she going to tell the truth? If it was a mistake, it was a mistake. If it was sent to the wrong person, it's sent to the wrong person. But when you wait 2.5 years later to say, oh yeah, that's right, that did happen, but it wasn't meant for her. Yeah, right. Nobody's going to believe you. You know, she's the one person that has inserted herself into this case. She manipulates the timeline. The scream becomes colors and shapes. Well, right there, she lost everybody. Nobody's believing her now. You know, she got so far-fetched on that one. The red truck sighting, all she could remember was it wasn't shiny. It was almost dull. It might have had ladder racks. But she remembered the driver. He was dark skinned and had tattoos. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then we find out a little later her mother drove a red Tacoma pickup truck and it had ladder racks and it was maroon and it was not a shiny color. And Jody Sue had been driving it up until Summer come up missing. She starts searching for that baby. She goes down to meet Andy at 6:09. And she started searching. Her version is she was in the creek. I have been told by people who have been there, and it's several that all have said the same, agreed. The area she's talking about that she went to, there ain't no way. It's a big drop there. It's a big space that she would have to get down and she couldn't move hardly. No way. But she said, and Fred Hill, he backs it up. She tried to get Fred to put his feet in the creek water to wash off the scent with her. Fred said no one has ever done that. Nobody does that. He had never heard of that. But she said everybody that lives in the holler knows that. Mm-mm. And, there's also the time where most of these things that I'm mentioning are on videos that she's taken down because she did get called out on the differences and they started coming down. There's a video called Gone that she put out. And she says the night before, on June the 14th, her and Andy were going to their old house, their old property on Light Holler Road to look for Summer and to see if Jackie Dobbs was anywhere around as well. The night before Summer come up missing, her and Andy are going to go look for Summer. Yeah, Millie, me too. I wouldn't have thought about getting in no water, but if she's so worried about her scent, we know because she did say the scent dogs stopped at her feet. Now, about a year later, after she says that in her live, she comes back and says, I didn't say that. Well, yeah, she did, because people had clipped that part. And she did say it. But then you've got, during that same time period, I think it was the very next day, when they were bringing out more dogs to walk around and smell and, try to get, her scent. Jody Sue takes her dogs for a walk. Her dogs that she never before, and Andy confirmed, never after did she ever take those dogs for a walk, except that one time. Hi, Karen. I believe she is irrelevant to this case. I think she's trying to make herself important. I don't know. I don't know what else to think. Because it's kind of crazy. Why would she be doing all this? Why? What's the purpose? But um, you know, Fred Hill said that Fred Hill, Candace, and Dawn have all said that Jody Sue and Andy sat down at the end of their driveway in their lawn chairs for 3 days straight while all the searches were going on. Everybody's out there talking, walking around, looking, and they're sitting at the end of their driveway. So, why be so nosy? What are you listening for? It's just uncalled for. So much of it's uncalled for. Let me see what else I got here. Even Benny Keys called her out in January of this year. He said, did she tell on herself? Did she turn over to Ellie the SD cards? And he asked, who was on that camera? Because, there was no SD cards. There was no cameras on their property. But then she got so worked up over Jackie Dobbs that she stated how she went and the day before bought cameras and put them up because she didn't trust that he would be on her property. So, yeah, there were cameras. So, Fred Hill also made a statement that he saw her son, Boog, in the swimming pool with Summer. And this was a month before Summer got gone. She got so pissed over this story, she said there was never a pool up there on 110 of any kind. Well, there's pictures. There are pictures of Summer on the top of that hill in a little swimming pool. And there is a picture with Jody Sue's son in there with her. January the 3rd of this year, she made a comment when she does her little dramatic rants and her stories and her monologues and all that good stuff. She said a manhole cover may be in the grass by the cows. And it was day 1 when she made the comment, maybe it's time to drain the well. So, does she know anything about that manhole cover in the grass by the cows? Because there is one at the property just past her place and around the corner on Beach Creek. So there is so much to this. She said on Ziggy's channel one time that her and Andy had was talking to Fred, and they had told Fred that they had been searching for Summer by a bridge. And, she's already made the comment, did you go up the wrong driveway? Did you take the wrong girl? Is she implying something that she knows? Or is that her way of inserting herself into this baby's case so she can distract some more, so she can lead people in a whole different direction. You know, what's her purpose? I just don't get it. Because here you go, MC. Hi Kai. Thanks for being here. Hi Rhonda Lynn. She says, also Andy told JSB never to mention that dog again. Yes, they had the dog that killed the two cats. And I wonder, they kept that dog chained up. Nobody was supposed to go back there. Yes, Millie, that's still it. But yeah, that heckin' dog was mean. Very, very, very mean. I don't know. And that's the bad part. We don't know what happened to Summer. And none of this that I am saying right now is saying Jody Sue is guilty. I'm not saying her son and her daughter are guilty. I will say, though, that scenario could work out. That scenario with Jody Sue and her family is very plausible. But so is it with the parents, and so is it with, other people. Fred Hill, Cotton Thompson, the list goes on and on and on. So I don't know if there will be a bounce back live from this to tell me how horrible of a person I am. I am not trying to target her. I'm not trying to traumatize her. Hey, Jude, thanks for being here. But I wanted to show where this little baby girl started getting lost in her own case on day one. On day one, Summer was getting lost that early on in her case. You have people that are putting out all kinds of different things. I don't believe that law enforcement has really worked as hard as they want everybody to think that they have. I did do another live about her being outside, or could she have been in somebody's house that they were walking by looking in the grass? Could she have been in somebody's basement chained up like Jody Sue says? MC, I don't know. I don't follow Miss Daisy anymore, so I don't know if she's going live tonight or not. Yeah, Millie, I'm with you there. I do the same. I keep praying that God will lead the right person to where Summer is, because we need to put an end to this. She needs to be found. Her parents either need to be charged or be able to live the rest of their life without being a suspect. The neighbor, her and her family, her kids, need to either be charged or be irrelevant in this case. Fred Hill needs to either be charged. You can keep going down the list of everybody that lives out in that holler. And it is so frustrating that nobody will say anything, that everybody just doesn't say a word. They don't know nothing, like they don't know anyone that lives out there. And it doesn't matter that it is their family, they don't know them. That one cracks me up the most, man. I just die laughing. Every time somebody says, "Oh, I don't know them," I just crack up laughing and think to myself, "Oh, they must be first cousins then." Because that's how it works out there. Nobody knows anybody. Nobody wants to talk about anybody. Nobody wants to give opinions. Well, except for the neighbor. She puts out stuff all the time. But we can't depend on her to tell us the truth. She doesn't think we need to know anything because we're tragedy pimps on here exploiting a little girl. And it's disgusting. You know, there are bad people on YouTube that have no intention of really trying to put out good things for Summer or any other missing child. But there's a whole lot of good people out there that are trying really hard. And yet the drama keeps getting all muddled all over the place. You know, it's like putting icing on a cake. When that icing's hot, you can pour it over the top of that cake and it just spreads all out and covers everything. That's how the drama does. And that's how the neighbor thrives, off of the drama, I think sometimes. And I don't listen to her. I quit because of the fact I can't believe her. She's put out too many things that contradict her very own words. And she'll come back and say, "I didn't say that. That's not what I meant." But that's what you said. Oh, hey Jude. Yes, I know all of her subs have got to be missing her really bad. She was a precious lady. But, you know, all we can do is just keep muddling through ourselves and keep looking into things and keep, you know, if you got a theory or if you have a thought or something, look into it. You know, get on Google. Send a message or email to somebody, you know that's into this case, and let's start working together, because if we don't, then she gets completely forgotten about. Rondalyn, I don't know if Ellie ever checked into that or not. I don't know. That was really very confusing all of that time when his sisters were out there. And then they had the psychic with them, and I don't know. But yeah, guys, let's just stick to as much of the facts as we can. And like I said, I'm giving you my opinion as to when Summer started getting lost in her own case. And in my opinion, that was on day one. That was on day one when her neighbor decided to use this little girl's content and got to tell all about all the things and how she's helping and she helped search. And yet she didn't realize, I don't think, that she kind of hung herself on day one because nobody told her Summer was missing. No one said, hey, Summer's missing. She just knew. What if Summer had just been running away from her brothers? And the brothers are chasing her, saying, Summer, Summer. What if that was the case? Then that wouldn't have been her missing. That wouldn't have. Molly Collie. I'm sorry that you don't like it. I am sorry if that upset you. And you're right. I probably shouldn't have put that picture up there. But I'm not using Summer. I'm not using Summer for any fuckery. I don't mess with demons or anything evil. I say my prayer to my God, Jesus Christ, every time before I come on. And I say another prayer when I get off. So I don't appreciate you being so crude in my chat. Yeah. And like I said, I probably shouldn't have put that picture up there. That's the one I had up there for Monday's thing, for Dutchie's thing. But I decided not to put my camera on, and that's what was there. So, yeah. So, anyways, guys, Summer's gotten lost, but it's not just recently. It started day one. It started day one. But if we all stick together, if we all do what we can do. Oh, thank you, Millie. Thank you. I am for Summer. And it's hard for me to go into other cases about other people that are missing because I'm so wrapped up in this. So, I want this little girl found. I want her to be brought back where she belongs. I pray that she is still with us, still alive. And I pray the truth comes out. I really do, because it needs to be known. It needs to be told, this is what happened, this is who did this. But as time goes on, it does make you wonder if she is still with us. We don't know. And it's so sad, guys. And I'm ready for, yeah, Rhonda Lynn, you're right. The truth always comes out in the end. And I'm ready for that. I'm ready for it all to come to light. I'm ready for that day that we can hear those words, Summer Wells has been found. Those words. Yeah. But, oh, wow. Hey, Jude. Yeah. I started watching, I think it was about 2 weeks after she was missing. I had been reading about it, but I started really following really close It was about 2 weeks in. So, anyways, guys, I do appreciate you all for coming and listening to me. And I know, we got, people that don't always agree with everything we say, but that's okay. It's what makes us all different, and that's what makes us get all the same. All of us can get on the same page. Help us to think outside the box. And that's really important. It's really important that we all do that. And like I said, I am not trying to be ugly towards the neighbor or her family. I'm not terrorizing her. I'm not criticizing. I guess I was criticizing, but I'm not trying to be that person that is trying to stir up drama or anything like that. It's just a point I wanted to make, that Summer got lost starting from day one. Yeah, darling, she has. She has. But I wanted to make that point. And it was in her words that showed it, how it all got started from day one. So it's hard to believe stories because we don't know what stories are true and what's not true. And that's a really sad thing. You don't know whether to believe the parents or not believe the parents. Oh, thanks. Hey, Jude. I appreciate that. You're so sweet. Well, I will do my best every time I come on and put out a video. I may not be as good as Nana, but I will do my best. And I just hope that what I can put out, I can make Summer proud, make her brothers proud one day. They can hear it. They can hear all kinds of angles, all sides, all thoughts. And it doesn't have to be in a rude, hateful way. Perfect storm. You're right. The perfect storm. Yes, yes, yes. So guys, you're good. MC. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Well, I am going to let y'all go. I'm sure other creators are out there doing something. It's a Saturday night, and I know Duchess is having a Halloween party on Monday, and Miss Chewy is having one tonight, I think. So y'all check it out and have a great weekend and have a happy Halloween. And y'all just keep being you, keep doing all that y'all are doing. Stay away from the drama. Okay. I'll be looking for your email. And I hope that we can all get back together pretty soon. I would like to do a live about this little baby girl, Elena, that God's Amazing Grace is covering. It is the saddest case. It is really sad. And I would like to kind of go over that with y'all one night if we can. So we might do that pretty soon. And then I got, just a few more things I'm going to try to work on. So I can't guarantee when I'll be back, but I'll be back. So, and thank y'all for all the sweet comments and all of the input that you put out, because that's what makes everything good for us. It is a horrible case, Millie. Oh my goodness. It makes me sick. Yeah, very, very sick. But we'll talk about that maybe next week. We'll talk about it and get Miss Crystal over here to help us with that. So we can make sure we got all the right info. But all right. Hey, Jude, thanks and welcome aboard. Appreciate you being here. Y'all are all so sweet. I love you guys so much. And we will see y'all soon. Y'all be good. Take care, guys. Love ya. Bye, everybody.